First warm day. Get the old truck out and blow some cobwebs out of it. Let me tell, but the lake's pretty dry. The wintertime tune doesn't seem to look too bad. A little ridge, but not too bad. Day out. Still a little cold. Probably high 40s. If the hills are on fire or this thing's got a weird smell to it. Smoke anywhere. Now, but it's hard to say. Truck's been sitting for the last couple months. It does smell electrical though. Let's see what we've got. Actually, don't smell it outside the cab. Don't smell nothing under here. Used it for storage for the past 2 months. It's got an old stereo box in it. Nothing back here. Maybe something's in the hills on fire. Who knows? sixth gear, just pulling a decent grade. I actually hate to gear it a little higher because I'm probably gonna lose sixth gear unless I'm on the highway. I haven't been down this way in a while. It used to be a rough spot right here. Getting further along on the 6.0 build, I decided I've got a set of rec port heads. Everything that I've been told says that they're not a great match for this sloppy stage 3 cam. So I decided not to run the rec ports because I'd have to buy an intake and a cam. And I went with I got a set of 243s as well. I went with those. And I've been porting on them every Saturday for the last 3 or 4 Saturdays while it's been too cold and too nasty outside to do anything else. So alright guys, got this one head, what I think to be 90% done or 99% done. It's 243. I've lapped those two to do the water test, see what the CC volume is. Set this light down. Done the throats. Got a template I found, a washer with a fastener made into it, but 90% of a 2-inch valve is 180 or 1.80. It's tight, but well, now it's gonna make a liar out of me. Yeah, there we go. Just big enough to go through. And then on the exhaust, the 155 exhaust valve, I think it's 86%. And the same thing with it. Had to make me a template by putting it in a drill press and grinding it down to the right size. It's tight. But it goes through. And while I was doing that, let me see if I can see it, kind of scuffed up the back walls on my exhaust side a little bit, but it'd be all right. Definitely opened it up. I'm kind of scared that I may have opened it up, the runners up too much. And this side's already got the valve in it. It's already too late by the time I figured out not to take a whole lot off of the sides of the walls. I know they're thin, but it feels like there's plenty of material still in there. I stopped at 80 grit, I think, on the intake. Still gotta clean it up good. On the exhaust though, I went, I think, to 240. But then, like I said, I went back in there and kind of, when I was doing the throat scuff the back wall up pretty good, and I may fix that later. I guess it depends on how much liquid that I've got to see what these intake runners are. Hopefully they're not huge. Got me some plexiglass, cut me out a couple pieces. Got to get me a 100cc syringe. And I'm hoping eventually to shave some off of this head before I go trying to clean it up by hand. Didn't take hardly anything off through here. For some reason, my gasket is basically pretty close to it. If anything, I might have to take some off the gasket. Didn't touch the tops. I guess that, I don't know if that's the floor, I guess it'd be the floor technically, but all I done was flapper disc those, a little bit of sandpaper. Ridge is a little rough, but I think that'll turn out pretty good. As long as it's not like 280cc or something weird. I did mess with the exhaust. I guess it's the roof. Took a good bit out of it. Matched it to my exhaust gaskets, the GM gaskets. I'm only running a 600 lift cam, so hopefully they do pretty good up to 600 and don't take away all my low speed, but smoothed up the flat spots that's on the plugs. I've always done that. Hopefully it works out good in this 6 liter. It's the first 243 head that I've run. I've run the 862s and everything. But hopefully I can get a liquid test on it tonight and then try to film that and see what we end up with. All right, after CCing them out, the intake was 228 and the exhaust was 83, 84ish. Had to smear a little Vaseline around the valve to keep it from dripping. And I forgot about the rocker bolt. I had to put a bolt in that with some thread tape, but I don't know how accurate the big syringe is, but I tried to keep it as accurate as possible. I've done it like 10 times over. Once I come up with 240, but not too bad. I was worried I took too much out, but it looks like I'm gonna be right good enough. I guess not quite the sweet spot, but I don't really know what the sweet spot is, so I'm happy with those results. Taking my time, trying to lay a better port job out than I did on these 862 heads. Compare the 862s and the 243s, it's not much of a comparison. I mean, I was new to all this and went in and just hauled material out and kind of roughed it in, and it looks terrible when you actually sit down and take your time and use the right tools. So hopefully we build a 30 over LQ4, 243 heads. Just the heads alone should bring the compression up from 9-ish to 1 to at least 10 to 1, and then I'm hoping that I bought the tools to do a piston to valve clay check and stuff, and hopefully I can shave. It'd be ideal if I could shave 20 thousandths off of it, but I'm not finding much info online. The sloppy cams with this 239 intake is up there pretty far. But regardless, either the heads will do really good or they won't. But they have to flow more than factory, I would imagine. fifth again. I don't know if it's where it's set and maybe the clutch has bled off a little bit, but it used to not do that. I also got to have a drive shaft made. I don't trust this drive shaft. Last time I was out in the truck, I think I got it up to about 120, and then it starts having all kinds of weird driveline shakes, or it could be the wheels it don't feel comfortable. And according to all the charts and layouts that I get online to do with drive lines, a 3-inch, 52-inch long drive shaft, 3-inch diameter steel, is only rated to about 6,000 in fourth gear at 1-to-1. So if I stretch fourth gear out, I should be right there in the 125, 130-ish zone. So that's about where I start feeling shake. So it kind of makes sense to me. I know a lot of people says that they just shorten and run the old factory S10 drive shaft and they don't have a problem with it. Well, I don't have a problem out of this one until you get up into the speeds that if something goes wrong, it's going to hurt you. I bought some 17x4 Jeg spikes to match the back drag wheels. Didn't know going in that I'd have problems finding a 17-inch skinny tire. A lot of guys tell me to run motorcycle tires. I don't want to spend $300 a tire on ET front runners or something like that. I'm going to try to find some comparisons, and if I can find some, if the 17s don't look that much better over a 15-inch front, then I'll probably just send them back and get 15x4s, and I can find plenty of 180 by 70 15 tires. Going to try to find some engine mounts, try to get the motor set down a little bit better to get the drive line best I absolutely can. But other than that, it's just waiting on weather. Hopefully this is not just, a warm spurt between winter, and winter don't extend plumb till April, but it's looking like it. Got to take advantage of all the days I can. Like to get a fast truck intake, but if it's not in the cards, it's not in the cards. I also got to buy some Mickey Thompson DT Street R's. Looks like they're about $650 new, so that's probably going to take the money from any kind of intake, but the old Trailblazer SS intake does fine for what I need. Around here are awful this year because I'm guessing it's the snow plows that went through and scraped them up. Potholes everywhere. Hoping maybe also to port the Trailblazer SS and try to maybe get a little bit more out of it. it. I don't even know if it's possible. Be in the truck driving. Got to put the body kit stuff on. I never finished that thought process on anything. Bought it all, put it in the corner, and forgot about it. I finally got a GMC Envoy front clip, but I don't think I'm gonna like how it looks with the ground effects, the extreme ground effects, because they hang down a little lower than the front does. May just end up buying one off of I think it's Racer's Edge or some of the fiberglass places for S10s that make the front clips for the drag trucks. I just hate to get rid of my fog lights, but worst case scenario, you can always cut some holes out and go about it that way. Let's see if we can get a good roller here to an old spot. Can't wait till the big engine's in, or the bigger engine. Still not a big engine. I think it's 377 cubic inch maybe, or something like that. 373 maybe. It's not quite a 6.2, but it's almost a 6.2. But that's my update for anyone that cares, guys. Appreciate you watching. Sorry I haven't been on here in a while. Hopefully when the weather changes, we'll get some of this stuff done up and we'll have more content. But until next time, see you.